Hey guys, what's up? So the next poem I'm going to be reading is poem 857, and this is called Different Priorities. This is about two single guys that go on a date. They met on a dating website and started messaging back and forth, topics like movies, family, politics, and coming out. Then decided to exchange phone numbers and then finally decided to set up a date. On the date, everything went wrong. Turns out that one wasn't completely honest. And even though they both want the same thing, their priorities are completely different. Different priorities. Two guys scheduled to meet at a restaurant on a date. They weren't exactly looking for one another, but started messaging each other back and forth on a website. They talked about silly things movies, work, family, coming out. From there, things escalated to texting for a few weeks. It was small talk through text until they both agreed it would be only natural to take things to the next level. A fairly attractive guy, well dressed, sitting at a table, nervous, with a rose, a bit early, waiting patiently. Another guy, beefy with a big chest and a tank top and jeans showing off his arms, walks into the restaurant. He takes a seat right next to Mr. Romantic as he hands Mr. Muscles a rose. Oh, well, thanks, man. No dude has ever given me a rose before, but it's nice. Pretending to smell it, they both ordered what they wanted on the menu as a waiter made a joke. Mr. Romantic laughed, but Mr. Muscles didn't get it. I'll be back with your drinks. He laughed as Mr. Muscles looked at him and told him he was a pretty handsome guy, but he should consider bulking up, going to the gym. The other one just shrugged his shoulders and said, yeah, maybe. Mr. Muscles said, so what are you looking for in a guy? Doing the quotations with his two hands. Honesty? Well, loyalty, consistency, monogamy, and someone to grow old with. Well, eventually, with time, of course. Mr. Muscles took a sip from his wine glass and laughed sarcastically. What Lifetime movie is that from? Mr. Romantic gave a confused look. Ah, chill, man. It was like a joke. The waiter came back, setting their plates on the table, smiling. Mr. Romantic looked at Mr. Muscles. What about you? What are you looking for? He cut his steak with his knife and said, someone that can hit the gym with me. Someone that doesn't mind hitting the bars, that can keep an open mind when it comes to open relationships. Oh, yeah, and they got to make time to travel. There are some pretty awesome white parties all over, you know? Mr. Romantic smiled and nodded his head. Right. They both looked at each other at the same time, and then Mr. Muscle said, I gotta go to the restroom. I'll be back. He got up and left the table as the other one texted his friend. Worst date ever. On top of it, Mr. Muscles didn't come back. Mr. Romantic finished his dinner by himself, and when the bill came, he paid for two. But behind the receipt, there was a phone number written from the sweet waiter. Later on that night, Mr. Muscles hit the club, telling one of the gym buddies about his date. Yo, the guy was a fucking loser, talking about finding his soulmate on the first date. They all started laughing. One of his friends pointed out a hot guy to Mr. Muscles. That guy has been checking you out since you walked in. Go talk to him. Mr. Muscles smiled and headed to the dance floor. They both started dancing. As they both made out, Mr. Muscles said something into his ear. You looking for something serious? The guy smiled. Absolutely. Finally, Mr. Muscles found his type. Hold up, let me introduce you to my buddies. But he noticed the guy already walked away with another dude that took his attention. It's funny because originally the two guys in the beginning were looking for the same thing. It's funny, one was a little bit more honest, and of course their priorities, well, they were completely different.